Woodzick has a monologue from Glengarry Glen Rocks, right? Let's hear that.
But, you know, Mamet doesn't let you change the gender of his characters.
You need to do some serious homework here. Woodzick is genderqueer and non-binary. Though they were assigned female at birth, they are not a woman. Therefore, it's not changing the gender of the role.
She takes the Chinese food from Oleana and gives it to Woodzick.
Woodzick, when you're ready.
The great fox we may have had. Well, what do you remember about him? I don't know. For me, I'm saying what it is. It's probably not the orgasm. You know, some broads, forearm on your neck, something her eyes did. There was this sound she made, or it's me. It's a no. No, I'm telling you. I'm in the bed next to her. She brought me, Jesus Christ. She brought me cafe au lait. She gives me a cigarette, my balls feel like concrete, eh? And what I'm saying is, what is our life? Our life is looking forward or it's looking back. That's it. That's our life. And where's the moment? And what is it that we're so afraid of? Loss, stocks, bonds, objects of art, real estate. You know, what are they? An opportunity. That's all they are. They're an event. A guy comes to you, you make a call, you send in a card. I have these properties I would like for you to see. You know, what does it mean? What do you want it to mean? Do you see what I'm saying? Things happen to you. I want to show you something. It may mean something to you, it may not. I don't know. I don't know anymore. What is that? What is that? Florida. Glengarry, Florida.
That was great. Thank you. Can I ask, which roles are on your bucket list? If you didn't have to jump through all these hoops to explain and validate your gender for casting professionals, if Tink could just wave a wand and everyone was magically educated, what would you be going out for?
Well, Sweeney Todd, Booth in Assassins, Harold Hill.
Oh, you can sing. Fantastic. Do you have something from Music Man to show us?
But, what if it's not in the right key?
Let me handle this. That is not our job. Keys can be transposed. Get with the program. Please.
There were bells on a hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all, till there was you. And there was music, and there were wonderful roses. They tell me in sweet, fragrant meadows of dawn and dew. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard it at all, till there was you.
Thank you so much, Woodzick. We have all your info and we'll let you know soon.
But
It's the end of the scene. Let's get back to
He pulls Oleana off by her ear.
well,
Lights out. Scene 3, at Rise. A mailbox sits atop Woodzick's bed. Ada pushes the mattress center stage while members of the ensemble begin to use various pieces of the bedding to create a ferry boat.
Theatrical Mustang Podcast guest, Woodzick here. I've been thinking about how trans bodies undergo more scrutiny than other bodies. And while dysphoria is real and present for many of us, there is a common misconception that we all hate our bodies, or others making all these assumptions about our bodies and which spaces they do and don't belong in. Thinking about my body as a vessel, my body as storyteller, my body dapper or femme, my body mine.
I grew up on Whidbey Island, which is about 20 miles north of Seattle. You have to get to and fro by the ferry.
Live or die by the ferry.
There's this mailbox on Highway 525 that reads, "Love letters only." What a droll image. I would pass by it every day on the way to school, and I would wave to it wistfully. I began to transition in my late teens, and I remember going back to the Center for the Arts where I had practically lived as a teenager to see Cabaret, a delightful show. And at intermission, I went into the women's bathroom, and a house manager pulled me out. My mother was livid. She almost stopped the show, but somehow it wasn't worth it. I don't really care what pronouns folks use to describe me, honestly, as long as it isn't he, him, and his. I think that there is something beautiful about always being in a state of transition. And transness allows us to always find new ways into ourselves. Watching the boats pass, become a vessel that comes and goes, that is noticed and unnoticed. I remember all those early mornings on the ferry, trying as hard as I could to pass as cis and to pass as white, hoping, wishing that one day it would give me safety. Passing as a woman, passing as anything, but my full history is the weight of being on this water alone. To be trans and a person of color in this country is to be as intimate with death and transition as you are with your own blood. I don't think I've ever grown out of the ferry.
Live or die by the ferry.
I want this body, this trans body, to be a mailbox, only filled with love letters. I want this body to be stationary. I want it to be beautiful and glorious.
We deserve a trans body that isn't a martyr. We deserve a body that is not for consumption, a body that doesn't have to pass. I'm tired of celebrating bodies that can easily fuck up the gender binary because they're skinny and slender and can safely bind or never be read as female. Like that's not a privilege. Like my body isn't still a target no matter what side of the binary I present.
We deserve subtle magic. We deserve the ability to save ourselves.
I love my trans body.
I love my trans body and yours.
We're love letters waiting to be written. We're love letters already sent.
On the days I cannot forgive my mother, I remember the softest parts of her perfect nail beds, the way her hair surrenders in ways neither of us can as she unfurls her hot rollers, her pouting lips when she's sleeping. I have never told her that I love her blemishes the most, learned to love her weaknesses for the two of us, love all her acne scars, to not be afraid of the inevitability of mine, rewrite them something easier to hold, like craters, like flesh-bearing rings, like human honeycomb. I've never told her how jealous I am of the Vietnam-shaped birthmark she carries on her right shoulder. Maybe she thinks it burdened, like our history make her atlas. I only see home as something laid atop a mother weary to hold it.
Ain't that what the earth like? Ain't it why we call her mama? Never notice ourselves in the wreckage of her, just keep asking for forgiveness. Easy to call her toxic, as if we are the only things that deserve growth.
I have marked so much of my suffering based on how this earth bore me into it, seen so much of its gifts as the bare minimum for housing my existence. It's lazy to draw parallels to this earth, a tired planet, to my mother, a tired person. The metaphor is too easy, too simple service calling what we can never forgive and refuse to protect some pedestal picture of a mother.
Gaia never asked to be something as two-dimensional as a mother, with nothing as important as her ability to bear. Who was the first to mark faux eco-liberalism under Mother Earth anyways?
Did you choose mother because it's easier to excuse the violence of women? Easier to call Earth a wrathful woman because of how dark the soil is? Easier to erase those who have always cared for the earth by naming us all her children because we are all just human?
As you profit off of t-shirts that don't mean anything but doing the bare minimum for being half a person, maybe. If we called Earth a trans person, that would explain why the violence so present but the protection too much later. Maybe we call her mother because misgendering the world is easier than marking artists' taste for their existence, always planting ourselves selfish and conquer. Of course, ain't it easier to police bodies?
Name them before we know them.
Make them slogan.
Turn them hashtag. Cremate our home until it traps us. Make a small bowl of a closet to keep the world in. Never make it safe for them to come out. Tell them
they were born to the wrong people. The earth, though, is always surviving. Has been here for as long as we can remember. What other resilience is stronger than trans existence? What other body need more protecting? My earth is the loudest beacon of trans joy, the one body I don't have to forgive.
The sounds of the ocean. We drift until.
Did you?
It's normal to see things out of the ordinary on the ferry.
So you don't see that massive cathedral?
I don't have to process my faith anymore, but maybe you do.
I think it's my faith.
Do you want it to go away?
It's not the most pleasant.
Do you want it to go away? Yes or no? Be definitive.
Yes.
Then you have to dig deeper into it. What else is in the cathedral?
All cis rolls steps from the ferry.
My mother.
All cis rolls yanks Emmett, a younger Woodzick, away from the ferry. Crissy looks after them. All cis rolls glares back.
Mom, what's wrong? Why aren't we taking communion today?
We can't take communion. If we take after that person, we'll get AIDS and die.
I don't think our mothers would get along.
Probably not.
At least we do.
It breaks my heart that this is what my mother taught me at such a young age. It's taken years to unlearn.
But you did unlearn it, didn't you?
I'm out, aren't I?
That doesn't mean you unlearned it.
You're right. How do I let it go?
Take a breath in and let it out.
Have you ever been haunted by your own face? Have you ever been haunted by your own mother's graves? The smoke is everywhere, been here since I came. They say the world's on fire now, but I've always seen the flames. Will you come on over and see what I see? I fight so hard, I fight so hard, I big kid too. I am not cheapening myself to fit the tunic and blues. I heal my body, raise it back to fight back these goons. My body is my grace in the refuge. A store-bought swaddle, a home in a bathroom, thicker than a hotel Bible. King James is just he could write, but religion's a symbol. It's these that's out in the sun. All this love in my handles, yeah, my smile is hellish. My tongue is a bite. I firewalk with hell to get my home safe tonight. You could stroll with me, 2 fists raised like a candle. Cause y'all only light is afraid, only stand with us at vigils. You turned us, Lilith angels aren't standing up to Adam. We perceptively rise, you pomegranate battle. Intersection, lexiconical, I'm at the ready with my arsenal, cardinal directions, can't find where my fury goes. Carcinal, have to put me on late night, point to the alright. As far back as you take us, we've been here longer than you. Our ghosts are just hungry, the revolution is a haunt